welcome to another video. Thanks for tuning into this video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys my attempt. I call it an attempt because there are some do's and don'ts I would like to share with you guys on this recipe. So this is basically a recipe for corn dogs, and this can serve as a snack for your kids. It can serve as a small chops for your events, and you don't want to miss this, okay? So this is what you need for this recipe. You will need some hot dogs. In my case, I use chicken franks. You need some all-purpose flour, some corn flour, some sugar, egg, salt, baking powder, paprika, and milk. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is to put your sugar in a bowl. And guys, the first don't I'll advise not to use for this recipe, or I'll advise you not to do for this recipe, is to use too much sugar. In my case, I used way too much sugar and the result was good, but it was not what I wanted. It was not exactly the taste I wanted. So you don't want to use too much sugar. Instead of using the quantity of sugar I use, you can use just about 1 tablespoon of sugar. Okay, go in with the sugar, go in with the salt, go in with the eggs, and give it a good mix, just as you can see me do. And then next, you're going to go in with your flour, add in the corn flour and the all-purpose flour in a bowl, and then add in your baking powder and give that a good mix. I'd like to mention that you can pay close attention to the process I use for this recipe, but however, I'm going to post an updated recipe for this corn dog so that you guys can tell the difference. And yeah, this is just an attempt. I've never made corn dogs before. This is just an attempt, and I'm just showing you guys what I did that did not go right with my corn dogs. Okay, so you can see I've added the baking powder, and I'm just going to give that a very good mix, and then I'm going to proceed to combining the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients. I also had to add in some paprika because I wanted some extra heat on the corn dogs, so this is optional. Okay, so the next don't I'm going to share with you guys is, do not use a small proportion of all-purpose flour. Okay, your all-purpose flour should be half of your corn flour. In my case, my all-purpose flour was not up to half of my corn flour, so the corn flour was a little bit more than the all-purpose flour, and it did not give me the kind of consistency I wanted. At this point, I have combined the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients, and you can see that the batter is too thick. So I'm going to go ahead and add in some milk into that batter and give it a good mix until it's smooth. Now, the last don't I'm going to share with you guys, which did not work for this recipe, was the fact that I used way too much milk. Now, you want to use at least 3 or 4 tablespoons of milk in your batter. You don't want to use up to half a cup of milk like you saw me do, because that is going to make the batter runny, and you're going to have challenges when frying your corn dogs. You're going to see what I'm talking about in the subsequent clips. For the next step, you're going to pour out your batter into a cup or into a long glass, depending on the size of your hot dogs or chicken franks. And then you're going to use this batter to coat the hot dogs or chicken franks. Okay, so you can see that my batter is literally pouring into the cup. You don't want to have this consistency. You want the batter to be slightly thicker than this, so that you can easily coat the hot dogs or the chicken franks before frying. For the next step, you can see that I have put my toothpicks on the chicken franks. I'm now going to proceed to coating. Now this is the part where I had it hot. You can see that I was dipping the chicken franks into the cup, but I had difficulties coating it because the batter was too light. Now you just want to have your hot dogs or chicken franks steeped into the batter, and it's going to coat immediately. However, I was able to fry the corn dogs and on medium low heat until it was brown, and then I took out the first batch and then proceeded with the next batch. Now, if you look closely at the finished product, which I'm going to be showing you guys subsequently, you realize that the the corn dogs have some very tiny holes on them through which some oil was able to penetrate into the hot dog or chicken frank. And that was simply because the corn flour was more than the all-purpose flour. The corn flour and the all-purpose flour were not exactly the right proportions, so you want to make sure you have the right proportions of the corn flour and the all-purpose flour. That brings us to the end of this video. Hope you learned something from this video. Please stay tuned for an updated recipe for these corn dogs, and I'm going to leave the right quantities and ingredients in that video. Okay, thanks for watching again. Love you all, and if it's your first time on my channel, please do not forget to subscribe. See you guys in my next video. Bye.